Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to No Flag Radio. I'm your host, P. Check it in. Yo, finna be more gentler today. God damn, man. You know what I'm saying? Fucking knocked the cast out yesterday. I gotta remind myself I'm 6 foot tall and all muscle. I can fuck shit up, man. Like, saying like throwing your weight around and shit. That shit is a real thing that your body gotta get settled into. You know what I'm saying? As you gaining like physicality. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can fuck shit up. I can fuck shit up, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to manage that, homie dog. So today we talking about Donald Trump lying about spending $2.5 billion on some wall. So I saw this blip saying Congress has approved funding to build that wall. We're going to talk about that. And we're also going to get into a little bit about immigrant groups and a little bit about ICE. Since I got y'all here, this cast was going to be about ICE, but I was like, you know what? I want to kind of double it up since this came up on the blip. I was like, yeah, let me reach into that. And let me do it like this since we get the chiz at jumping. There I go. Okay. Don't want to miss. So, this blip talking about Trump's going to be funding this wall. Let's talk about this funding of this wall Trump lying about and the border crossing immigrants who are going to be, shaking in their boots while he's posturing to his base about this, like they're going to be affected by this negatively. So the story says that the Supreme Court has approved $2.5 billion in funds to have a piece of this wall built. It's going to be 100 miles, as he says, of wall is going to be built from San Diego, California, all the way to the tip of Texas, which is El Paso, that tip right there. So from California, Arizona, and New Mexico, all that is going to be what he's saying is this wall, right? Extra miles of border wall he's going to be building, I want to say, along this area is what he's claiming, is what the story says, right? And all these different bleeding hearts, and the bleeding hearts, they usually turn out to be closeted white supremacists. So I want to call them closeted white supremacists. They fake mad about it. All these groups are going to have something to say about it coming next week. Y'all just wait for it. Haven't heard much from the Oreo sellout type people sounding off on it yet, but I'm sure they're mad about it. They're going to be talking shit next week too. So let me just start off by slapping the goobers in the face who voted for Trump, thinking he going to build a fucking wall, thinking this is anything substantial, right? And all you dumbass intersectionalists scared because y'all think a wall finna be built. You scared because you think Trump going to do something to your immigrant friend that you like. Trump going to hurt your immigrant friend, man. Somebody you know, right? Let me just pre-slap y'all, mother. I want to slap y'all, but I can't slap y'all hard. I don't want to fuck up shit because I'm heavy-handed. Let me just pre-slap you motherfuckers right now. Right now. So y'all can know what I've been saying is true for months about this. I've said over and over again, Trump ain't going to build no wall, y'all. He ain't trying to deal with no food shortages, no economic stalling. U.S. giving Mexico all this goddamn gas through pipelines. All that shit is money, right? So no, America signed Mexico on as cheap labor after America sought out a diversion to occupy itself with from dealing with ADOS black society fairly and squarely. And, we could give a fuck. ADOS, we just the landlord. We just the landlord coming to collect our rent for you living in the house we built. We geeked up about these reparations and that whole thing called set-asides on the side, right? So, whatever. But just understand, white supremacist society has been trying to keep Mexico on board. That's been the thing. Trying to keep Mexico on board for all manner of trading and all this. They want to keep them partners. They want to keep them unmessed with for what Mexico is willing to be used for. It ain't no secret. That's number one. All right. Secondly, the amount Trump is kicking for this funding, for the amount of wall that he claims is going to be built, it just raises my suspicion even more. It just makes my point, I think, even more further about the wall being basically a jogging exercise for the goobers, a rallying exercise for the goobers. Y'all remember in 2017, Trump said what? He said the cost of the wall going to be what? He said $8 to $12 billion, right? Let's just do some math. $2.5 billion for 100 miles of wall. That space between El Paso and Cali. Let me pull it up. I went on MapQuest and pulled it up. It's about 700 some miles. The miles that you see on this, okay, so it goes through the land area, because right where you see Tucson, right underneath that and all of that area where it kind of curves up and all that, that is reserve, natural reserve park type shit. So they're not going to be building no wall through no natural reserve. What up, RDB Fresh? What up, bro? They're not going to be building no wall through that shit, right? They was going to build it straight, you know, and go through Nogales and all that. They'd be building through reserve park type shit, all right? But just flatter the idea real quick. So we're talking about 720 miles of space. And by some measurements, it's about 740, almost 50 miles of space, right? And he talking about a $12 billion budget. So that's 4.8 times this 2.5 billion that was just approved by the Supreme Court, right? That's going to make about, 480 miles of wall. If we're talking about a $12 billion budget, we're going to weigh it up against what he was really talking about spending, right? 480 miles of wall. All spent. Budget all spent is 480 miles of about, compare that next to 750 miles, right? So, game point, set, match on this shit, y'all. Okay? Even when he came out talking about it was going to be 21.6 billion, he tried to throw that out there to see if it would stick for the goobers. That would still only be about 960 miles of wall total. Give or take some miles for water, and not give, and take away miles for water and just areas where you can't build the fucking wall. And different kind of terrain issues and shit like that. That's less than half of the whole mileage. If you want to look at the whole mileage, it's damn near 2,000 miles. It's damn near 2,000 miles to cover the whole border, right? And even at his highest amount of money he's talking about spending, it's only going to cover less than half. 960 miles, right? So I'll say it again. He's not finna build no fucking wall, y'all. He's just throwing shit out there. He's just throwing out anything. Don't y'all get it? He's just throwing out anything to entertain his base before this elections. I don't know how hard it is to see that. So what's going to happen is the Democrats, of course, they're going to run with this shit come next week for these debates that's going on out there in Detroit. I'll keep y'all abreast of those. All this is just feeding a news cycle for a week. It gives everybody a chance to act so outraged over the weekend. They released this shit specifically on the weekend. Yo, hold on 1 second. RDB Fresh said, what about the underground tunnels? What do you mean, what about the underground tunnels, RDB Fresh? You know, I did a story, say about a couple of weeks ago, about one of these groups out here in Texas. They crowdfunded a portion of a wall they trying to build. They got it under construction right now. Wall of America or something they call it. This guy, he's a veteran, got his legs shot off, his arms shot off, all that type of shit, but he crowdfunded, got a bunch of zealots over this wall out there trying to close down parts of the wall, or parts of the border rather, wall, parts of the border where these underground tunnels are specifically at. So motherfuckers is out there just going on some vigilante shit with it because Trump ain't addressed it. So people are out there, RDB Fresh, trying to cover ground with it, is what I'm trying to say to you, bro. But just weigh that up against the task, you know what I mean? Weigh it up against the task at hand, you know what I mean? It's a lot going on at the border. It ain't just you're going to be building on land. So hold that side by side next to people's property and rivers and all this type of shit that's out there. The shit, it'll get nasty. All right? But all I'm saying is this is just about one news cycle feeding another with this, y'all, between these political groups leading up to these presidential elections, right? It's to keep the masses engaged in the theater of the shit. And every move we make, as far as being ADOS, it's got to be about getting around theater. That's why we bang the grassroots. That's why I've been in the ears of these black banks over these weeks, politicking for centralizing our lobbying efforts, using the banks as a place to be a storehouse for us, right? As long as we got a representative government around this bitch, we got to find motherfuckers that represent. So I push for that shit, right? That's my half of the action on this journey as me being an ADOS man, right? But Trump, he's not finna build no wall, y'all. What he gonna do is what I've been saying. He's gonna use those migrants at the border for cheap corporate labor. Y'all might want to go watch those posts that I did on that, breaking down the G20 and all of that, and my various synopsises that I've shown with that. He's going to be using those migrants for cheap labor for companies like Boeing, AT&T, all these people they gave to his campaign. It's their time to get what they want now. He's going to find a place for them. Because these people coming over, y'all, and running up to the border, these are what they call asylees, people that are seeking asylum. They're trying to claim asylum in America. And Trump not trying to fuck that shit up wholesale. He ain't trying to fuck up the whole operation they got going on wholesale. He's trying to make sure this shit flows smooth. Got to make sure his partners get the check. He the man of the deal. He's all about the deal. Last time I checked, Trump about the deal, homie. What's a deal about? A deal about what kind of steel you can get out of something. That's what it really is. That's what really happening. You know what I mean? He trying to make a steal out this bitch. He trying to, this is America, baby. He trying to come up. He's trying to make moves for his people. Understand? RDB first say, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, these people here, they're coming here, they're claiming asylum status. I mean, he's not trying to fuck up the asylum game. If you come here claiming asylum status in America, what it is it's a maximum of 1 year you have to be here, and then your status as an asylee counts as a permanent resident. So after that, you can apply for citizenship. That's how it works. You can also be a refugee and apply for citizenship after 1 year. Is how that works. And with asylum, damn, you know, all you gotta do is make it to the border. All you gotta do is make it to the border to claim asylum or even make it across the border. Either way. So it's been truly open borders for America for a long ass time in this country. That's what people are talking about. And there's been absolutely no punishment mechanism in place, no kind of real policing of it that's been going on, especially for immigrants of these types. I mean, it's just been open doors and 100% 24/7, nothing but open doors. That's why it's been one big party for their ass. They've been spoiled. It's been one big set aside for their ass, right? And at this point, a lot of these countries where, that are crossing through that border area, they are just pretty much used to it. They are addicted to it. The word done got around in their home countries that, shit, America soft like that. And that's what's up. That's why most of these groups, they don't bar coming to America illegally, because all they got to do is make it to the border. All they got to do is hold it down a year. And they're willing to risk doing that year. You understand? I'll tell you what else is interesting. Just yesterday, Trump put out a limit on the number of asylees coming out of Guatemala. Put this up real quick. Threatened them with a tariff of sorts. And made Guatemala limit their number of asylees. He threatened them with that shit and they buckled under that shit. And this is all fresh news, right? Because there's no limit on asylees in America. I want y'all to dig that. There's no limit on the number of asylees that can come to America. So that's history making. You understand? Because he putting the pressure to them in a way, right? This is something that is different. And over the years, since World War II ended, when America started its refugee and asylum type laws to give people a place for, it was mainly for Europeans coming out of World War II. Europeans coming out of World War II, there were a lot of people that were displaced. Yo, what up, Nish Penda? Nish Penda say, peace fam, because they have decided genocide for us by any means necessary. Yeah, you can see all the various appendages that might lean to that. Yeah, you can look at the whole picture and kind of see what they want to paint up out of this shit, right? So my point is, that whole era, coming up out of World War II, what was happening was that all these Europeans, and it was strictly Europeans that was able to get these refugee kind of statuses coming out of World War II, because there was a lot of Europeans that was fucked up out of the war, and America, just on some bleeding heart shit, started its refugee and asylum type laws to give them a place to duck and run type shit. It's called the Displaced Peoples Act. So the attitude of America has been on some, you got to help these refugees no matter what type shit. We're not talking about immigrants. We're not talking about immigrants in this particular post. We're talking about the subcategories on this video. We're finna get into a few things. But the attitude at that time that was getting cemented, which makes this whole issue with Guatemala history making, right? The whole attitude that's been, and the running attitude has been, help those refugees and those asylum seekers, right? And you should also note that black people at the time, we weren't included in that. Black people from Africa, the continent of Africa, black people from the Caribbean, the Euro blacks, we weren't included in that. Our people from those parts of the diaspora weren't included in that, right? Just to keep that in the back of your mind. They were in no way included in that then, right? Because, about that time, this was like 1948, where they started this whole refugee act, this Displaced Peoples Act. The white supremacists, they was busy divvying up Africa and fucking up Africa. Right after the World War II, South Africa started that apartheid shit. Right around that time, a couple years after. Nigeria, they was dealing with the missionaries. The missionaries came in, started laying down their law. The Ivory Coast, what was happening out there? The French came through holding their nuts on their back and shit, right? So Africa was under a big shakeup. They was basically, all the European powers was acting like Africa ain't just helped them fight in the fucking war, right? Africa helped the British. Africa helped a bunch of motherfuckers fight in that war. The World War II, right? But what happened? The Africans got comfortable. They was on some "we just like white daddy" shit. we thought we were, a lot of them come with that shit that, you hear a lot of Africans who were, fighting in that war and lived and whatever. A lot of their documents and just recaps of it is like, yo, we thought we were the British. We thought we were black British type of shit. Talking that type of shit. Motherfuckers after the war, they came through shitting. All right? But just saying, white supremacists, they was busy tearing a hole in Africa at this time. And gradually, all these other non-white groups got umbrellaed under this refugee sympathy cry, this asylum seeker sympathy cry type shit, right? After a while, it became all groups eventually. So for Trump to make notification of limiting the asylum seekers, is where I want to land at. That's a show of force around these immigrants. You know what I mean? It's history in the making in that regard because of the timing of the whole migrant issue, the migrant crisis, all that shit, and just all the immigrant caping going on. That shit is history making amongst an environment like that. Right? So in this almost noxious culture of asylum seekers to America, to my point, of these immigrants just being viciously opportunistic. Fuck you, America. Fuck you, America. Give me mines, America. Ain't nobody helping the immigrants. Poor immigrants. We need more people helping the immigrants. In this kind of environment, right? And their quest to kick the legs out from underneath what the fuck going on in America and the people here, already here, especially black people. All of that shit that they going through, it may be on a fucking timer, is my point. All the caping may be on a timer. Right? All these coons sitting up talking about, oh, them immigrants, they children is away from the mama, and the mama can't be away from the children. That's bad. And y'all motherfuckers might not be saying that shit for too much longer. At least not about them Guatemalans, you know what I'm saying? Guatemalans is actually the highest number of people coming from that area. They call it the Northern Triangle out there in Central America. So we're talking Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras, right? And you got these advocates, they caping and crying over the shit. I just think it's funny. So I'm going to keep my eye on what's happening out there, y'all, just so we can, stay a few steps ahead of what's going on this topic on my channel. It ain't no games. I also want to get into the type of immigrants that we're looking at in America real quick on this beautiful Saturday, so we ADOS can kind of frame our thought around some things. The 4 types of immigrants that we see walking around in America. We talk about immigrants, we want to break this shit down a little bit just so we have a lens on them outside of what white supremacist society tries to tell us is the lens we need to be looking at them through. I mean, white supremacy, white supremacist society can get real biased in the way that they define things and present things to us. They can get real fucked up and lazy about certain shit and just try to cloud shit with their white supremacist view of shit. So I want to just make sure that we understand the papers that these immigrants is over here walking around with by law in America. So when y'all are out and about, when we out and about and we around these people, we can kind of shine our mind's eye on them. So when they get to talking, we can follow them, right? Couple messages here. Hold on, let me take it back. Some of these Africans be on that. Hold on, I can't see it from here. What is it in the the poop emoji? Right. RDB Fresh say some of these Africans be on that shit. Only few have their eyes open. Niche Penta say yes. The majority of black immigrants does not come until the 1980s when they decided to use our own people against us. Yeah. Late 70s and 70s when we started, really caping for them. 70s is when that started, and well, I'll explain a few things about it, I guess, through the course of the video. Niche Penda say true. They keep the black first ones away. In response to RDB Fresh. Have not seen them in large numbers since the 60s. Just coons who are ready to fight other black people. Yeah, fuck wrong with them, Niche. Why they come over here on that bull fuck trying to fight other black people? What the fuck they problem? But let's understand there's a few types I want us to get at today as far as immigrants, all right? There's documented immigrants, okay? These are people who have citizenship papers. They have linked up and have been able to cast an anchor in here in America in some kind of way. It's usually by way of them having some sort of family already here, right? Like spouse or whoever the fuck, parents, whoever the fuck. And then they tag along off of their citizenship and get over here and get classification through their tethering to America, right? It can be a brother, sister, whoever the fuck. They can anchor themselves to somebody's American situation already here, right? Second is asylum seekers. We talked about that. All you gotta do is make it to the border and bam, you've got asylum in America. You can apply for citizenship after a year. That's actually the largest number of Latino immigrants that we see actually. They fall up under this easy ass asylum bar because damn, their country is so close to fucking America. All they gotta do is walk up to the border and America has to let them in under all these different rules and regulations and acts that have been set. Not even just ones that we have over here. It's like different UN has got involved. They got their hand involved in about the 80s in regards to U.S. asylum rules and regulations and things of that nature. So it's heavy in the asylum game. You've got refugees, and what they do is they gotta have a hardship story that fits America's criteria for a hardship story for seeking refuge. Your group has to have been assailed in your home country, has to be documentable proof of you being assailed, your group being assailed. And you gotta show up with a permission slip basically. It's something called an I-590, I believe. An I-590 form, all right? Bring that and a sob story. And then you got to have somebody in your family somebody that's got money that sponsored you type of shit. You got to have a sponsor, right? So notice how it ain't all the way easy to claim refuge like that. And a lot of the countries that we see people refugeeing from, the list of qualifications that they call like hardship, you can tell the kind of countries that they are really targeting. They're talking about, countries where if the women there are in jeopardy of female circumcision, you can be a refugee. What do that sound like? They say shit like, oh, if the country that you're coming from has animus towards homosexuals. That's a group, right? It's a group that they can categorize as a group, right? What places do that sound like on earth, right? Alright? And I want y'all to, I'm saying that because I want y'all to kind of answer what I'm about to get at. The highest number of refugees in America, if y'all did not know, they are from Africa. Okay? So, take note about that, about our African people. In fact, let me not just talk it. Let me show you the stats so y'all can know that I'm showing y'all what the fuck I'm telling y'all, and I ain't just telling y'all, right? 2018 stats, all right? Top 10 countries, refugee admissions. This is 2018. Top is Democratic Republic of Congo, couple few other African countries, Ethiopia, Eritrea. The list goes. Now, this is 2018. It was the same thing for 2017 if you were to pull those stats up. Do I got those? I got them somewhere. Same thing. Matter of fact, Democratic Republic of Congo was on the top. And just so y'all know I ain't playing, when I was talking about, what is this? Is this the country I want to look for? Here we go. I'm talking about asylum cases, right? One top, we looking at Venezuela, Guatemala, Mexico, El Salvador. All right. When I was saying that those were Latino asylum cases, Central America, Mexico, there you go. There you go. All right. So it's that, right? But I want y'all to take note about our African people. Understand, they got to come here with a sob story on the tip of their tongue when they come over here. They got to come here with a sob story on the tip of their tongue. That's why when they get around us, they always got a fucking sob story. They on sob story mode. Oh, our life is harder, brother. You are cutters. You have done nothing to help us here in America, brother. They come with all that shit, right? And our job as ALLL is to push that sob story to the back of their head. And then in the front of their head, we're going to replace it with the real scoop on why they're even allowed to be refugees in the first place. Like I said, it was regulations starting out after World War II that started America's refugee program, period. And ALLL, we fought in World War II. We was fighting to fight in that war. And that was some coon ass shit. I'm saying those people that was fighting in World War II after being abused by society, fighting for white supremacist society and fighting for a country that denied them all the rights that they were fighting for other people to enjoy. I've talked about that countless times when I discuss military coons, right? The motherfuckers that you see right now walking around holding signs talking about save the immigrants, all the black folk you see doing that shit, they would have been the motherfuckers fighting for the rights of other people that they don't get to enjoy themselves. You understand? That's what the fuck was going on. That's what the fuck the shit looked like, huh? But understand that it was ALLL. We fought in that war, you Africans, so you can understand, to make a lane for the refugee program. It would first benefit white people, of course. It was all about the Europeans that were displaced during that war. Then it eventually became all groups. Asians, Latinos, Africans, all that got tacked on later after the Civil Rights Movement. People don't press Africans enough to let them know, hey, yo, from 1790 all the way up to 1965, Congress was restricting naturalized citizenship to just white people. Africans couldn't refugee in America. It took the civil rights movement to press that shit, to put this shit in place, like The Hart-Celler Act. That's what they call it. 1965, right? All of that was fueled by the civil rights movement. All of that was inspired by that. All of that was because of the dust we was kicking up over that. Right? First thing on the books that allowed for Africans to migrate over here and non-Northwestern European people to migrate here under refugee status and asylum status, right? And just keep it in your mind. This is different from immigration laws, right? We're talking refuge from a country that's shitting on you. So don't let Africans come over here talking that shit like we ain't did nothing to better they funky ass lives. After we done make them, they're the highest number of refugees here because of us. All right? Don't let them slip that by you and act like they slick. Right? But lastly, on to the undocumented immigrants. The last group of immigrants I want to get on so we could just have a lookout for who the fuck they is when they walking around us acting like, hey, Negro, help me. Be good with me, Negro. I friend, I buddy, Negro. Body, kicking that fuck shit, right? The undocumented immigrants, right? These are people that are here laying, playing, chilling on expired ass papers. Y'all know the largest percentage of immigrants in America who are undocumented are the immigrants that came over here, their papers expired, and they just stayed their lazy ass over here and didn't try to update their paperwork. Y'all know that? They just never got off their lazy asses and got their paperwork updated. This is who you coon ass niggas is marching for. Motherfuckers that come over here and get lazy. I'm gonna just say it. So we talking about, we was talking about ICE sometimes not having the accurate documents and all that shit for who is who and what is what as far as who's official and documented and all that shit. But motherfucker, what's more of an epidemic is the people that come here and get comfy and let their paperwork lag because they've been kicking back and living out a little fake ass DACA ass dream about some damn immigrant status. And it's time to pay the motherfucking piper. Fuck all the fuck shit. The Iceman cometh, and ain't nothing I can do for you. You know what I mean? Iceman coming for ya, can't do nothing for ya, cause the Iceman coming for ya. Run, hide, duck, we could give a fuck, bitch. Iceman coming for ya. Oh, let me go find this. I wanna show y'all this. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this shit. Mostly legal immigration isn't coming from the Mexican border. Visa overstays continue to outpace border apprehensions. And this is from 2017 data. And I would imagine the shit don't switch. But y'all see in the gray side, all of that. Yo, what up, worker bar? I see you, Miss Lady. What's good? All that on the gray side, the dark gray to the light gray, all that is overstays. People have overstayed their visa. The dark one is the visa waiver program overstay. That's from certain countries like Germany and a couple other countries. And then the light gray is other visa overstays. Motherfuckers are just lazy. They don't want to keep their paperwork up. The fuck? That's their problem. That's what we looking at. Y'all take a look at that, huh? So it's pretty cut and dry, y'all. Don't nobody need to be caping for these people. The fact that some wall is getting some change put on it, getting some change put on the brain of the wall, it don't mean shit. You know what I mean? It don't mean shit, you know what I mean? And what? If our paperwork got to be straight at all times, look, these motherfuckers' paperwork got to be straight at all times. What is there to discuss? If you're an immigrant, you should be double aware of the paperwork that ICE got on your butt. You know what I mean? And don't be giving that excuse of, oh, they got old records, all this shit. You're supposed to keep that up. You're supposed to be on their head about that. So, all in all, like I'm saying, the immigrant entry process has been a quick acting drug that immigrants have been getting high off of for years, and we shouldn't feel anything for these motherfuckers when they policies that come out take a big ass chunk out of their ass. When these policies that come out are scaling back their presence here, right? When Trump throws up his little wall scares to get the news into a fluster, the news media outlets for his little adversaries or whatever. We got to be focused on numero uno. That's ADOS, ground state America. And what we need to be getting out this system. And how we need to be manhandling this system just like everybody else. That's all we got the fuck room for. One last thing I want to touch on. One last thing. You know, I want to get on ICE going harder. ICE going harder. Y'all remember that post I did talking about how ICE was like kind of being pansy, daisy, flowery soft with the whole putting the point to the immigrants that is out here illegal and they need to be checked over this shit, right? They not really laying down their hard hand. That was my post I did a few days ago, right? And on the same day I put up that post saying ICE need to go harder on the undocumented immigrants because they taking up all the social sympathy we need and running set-aside games with the politics system here and kind of hiding behind these advocacy groups and everybody who used them for a vote, who ain't once fought for ADOS reparations, these people that they use them for votes, all that shit. Folks like the ACLU and fucking NAACP, the Congressional Black Caucus, the motherfucking, who else? All these motherfuckers. CARICOM. You shucking and hucklebucking politicians, right? That's not grassroots. Well, ICE is starting to lay down a motherfucking harder hand. There was a report that came out this morning saying that new rules with ICE is going to allow these immigration officers nationwide to deport anybody who's been here illegally for less than 2 years. It used to be just a couple weeks. If you were illegal in America for a couple weeks, less than 2 weeks, and you were within 100 miles of the borders of U.S., right? Of the United States, right? Then you would be deported, right? Now they flipping the game. They like, hey, look, motherfucker, all across the nation, fuck within 100 miles, the whole fucking nation, and within 2 years, if your ass been here, your ass getting deported. So motherfuckers that made it over that 2 week hump and was just chilling, I made it past that 2 weeks, fuck America, fuck y'all, right? The fuck yous they've been giving to the country, right? Year one come around, aha, year one, fuck y'all, aha. Year one in 7 months, aha, fuck y'all, they doing this. Fuck, what's up, you been here less than 2 years? Bitch, you getting deported. This is what's happening. You understand? So, I laughed when I saw that. I was like, yeah, okay. And on the day that I put up this post, the day I threw this post up, is the point I want to make, man. ICE was going harder already on that day. They wasn't playing. They ain't been playing this week. There was a story that came out that same day that I dropped that, where ICE busting a motherfucker window open, getting his ass out the car. Remember I said, yo, look, ICE need to go hard like the motherfucking checkpoint motherfuckers, bust a motherfucking window and drag a motherfucker out the car, right? I'm saying no less than 24 hours after I saw the blip, like, that's what y'all niggas get. Nigga. Ha. That's what you get. Ha, nigga. Ha. You know what I'm saying? That's what we talk about. That's what I was proud of ICE that day. We were proud of ICE. I know. And you know, motherfuckers is really trying to save the immigrants. Now they got all the attorneys coming out talking about, hey, look, immigrants, look, get your paperwork showing that you've been here for 2 years. Just anything that shows that you've been a consistent resident of the United States for a couple of years. Just everybody, just keep that paperwork with you. Oh, please, immigrants, please. And so many motherfuckers finna fall by this shit. So many motherfuckers, this shit not finna work in their favor for. That's the real. You understand? Hold up. I got a request for some working tools. See how you want it. See how we go. Flip it. We over here. I'm saying we over here wrenching. I mean, all that going on. All that in effect. Right? Everybody crying. Everybody mad. Yeah. So I'm looking at it like, okay. And there was somebody in my comments too on that video. And I'll leave it at this. One of the commenters in my post on that, I think the name was Michael Coleman was his name. Shout out to Michael Coleman if you're in the chat. What up, Michael Coleman? What's good? And he was just like, man, I don't believe that ICE gonna do nothing, man. You know, the government is, because they're telling people when these raids are gonna happen. I just think it's the elites are just doing this and this. They're not gonna really press it or something like that. Y'all can read the comments. He said something like that. And my reply to him was this. You understand? Like, what you're saying is debatable, man. You got to understand that ICE, traditionally, for years, ICE, they don't announce when they move and they don't announce when they finna do this or that. They don't make announcements like this. What we're seeing Trump do, it was Trump that got on motherfucking Twitter talking about, well, yeah, we're gonna be doing these sweeps. It was him that was making a big fucking parade over the shit like that's what the fuck he wanted to do, right? That was his thing, right? So as that's his thing, don't put that on ICE. That ain't ICE. That's Donald Trump. All right? Customarily, ICE don't do that. So I had to give him a history lesson in that regard. Like, you know what I mean? But on top of that, I had to put down the, I put into the comments like, look, man, ICE just pulled the motherfucker out broke the motherfucker glass, pulled the motherfucker out the window today. The day you wrote this comment, bro, that's what the fuck happened. And for people that are taking ICE for a joke, I also put in the comments that, look, man, motherfuckers thought the TSA was a joke. Y'all remember that? There was a time when motherfuckers thought the TSA was just something to laugh at, something to joke up at. Now when motherfuckers think about the motherfuckers is sitting up straighter. Motherfuckers is on point now. Motherfuckers act like, you know what I'm saying? It needs to have time to roll out, was my thing to Mr. Coleman. Get this shit time to breathe. Get this shit time to breathe and watch, right? Watch, huh? See what the fuck don't happen, as I say on this channel. See what the fuck don't happen. Give it time to breathe. Motherfuckers thought TSA was a fucking joke. Now motherfuckers know they gotta bust down their whole bag when they walk through that bitch. They know they can't bring aerosol and all this other shit. They know they can't play games walking through that shit. Trying to take a flight anywhere. They already fucking know. Man. So yeah, William Taylor say ICE move in silence. Yeah, customarily, ICE don't tell nobody shit. You can just look at the platform and how they move for years and years. This is what they do. ICE is Homeland Security. It's Department of Homeland Security. Just like the fucking TSA, I believe. I believe the TSA is Homeland Security. They're their own little division within Homeland Security. You know what I'm saying? Homeland Security ain't finna be playing. So I'm just saying, for people that don't expect a hard hand to come down, all right, motherfucker, watch. Just wait. Wait. All right? The chat been flying. Let me just shout out to a few people since I know y'all in the mix with your boy. Yo, be proud of me. Yo, I managed today. You know, I said, God damn it, today I'm finna be lighter on the microphone. Yesterday I was just throwing my weight around and shit, not being gentle. I gotta remember, I'm 6 feet tall, man. I'm 6 feet tall and a lot of muscle, man. I'm all muscle, man, so I can fuck shit up. I mean, I did not fuck it up today. I did not fuck it up today. Right? Let me run through it right fast. Let's see who's saying what about what. The Iceman cometh. Hell yeah. You know what? Work of art, Miss Lady. Shout out to Work of art. Shout out to you, Miss Lady. I was about to name this shit Trump, cons, motherfucking people with his punk ass wall, and the Iceman cometh. That was gonna be what was gonna go after my little slash, whatever the fuck they call that shit. That's what the fuck I was gonna put after that shit. You know? The Iceman cometh. Hell yeah. Motherfucker ain't playing. Yeah. Hayes of all lives. Yo, what up, boy? The account changer. Changed accounts like a chameleon, changed motherfucking colors. Hayes of all lives say ICE is sweeping Detroit right now, and I'm loving it. Fuck these goddamn illegal taco trucks. ICE move with silence. Somebody get to work too, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. I hope today was informative for y'all. I know it was a little bit later in the day, but I ain't give a damn. I was like, man, fuck it. Who come through, gonna come through? What? Huh? I'm glad we had a chance to chat it up, y'all. It's what I wanted to do. I mean, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I'm dropping. Don't forget to fuck with my Teespring. That shit, a necessity. And I know y'all know, man, yo, your boy just got his account monetized. Yo, I figured out what it was. I clicked on the link as to why I monetized. Why I monetized is because of my subscriber number and also because of the number of watch hours that I have within a 12-month period. Like, you gotta have like at least 4,000 hours of watch hours within a 12-month period. So I guess on a 12-month period, I got 4,000 watch hours, whatever that is. I guess they say I got that, Joe. They say I'm in for that. They say I'm good for that, eh? So yeah. So I thank y'all for that. I was trying to figure out who I thank for this. Who I thank for this monetization shit popping off. And I was like, yo, let me just thank y'all just for the fuck of it. For the fuck of living, right? But yeah, thank you to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I thank y'all for viewing my shit, man. Watching my channel, man. My shit, how the fuck it is, man. Because of y'all, man. Y'all inspire me to go and just do some greater, doper shit every time I step in front of this shit. You know what I mean? And oh yeah, don't y'all forget to check out and keep your eyes peeled to noflag.com. Noflag.com is coming soon. If y'all go to the site now, y'all see it's the construction thing on or whatever. But just know this shit is in the mix. When I drop it, y'all will know. I'm gonna let y'all know. Alright. I will be waiting for this on Blaze Johnson. Yeah, I'm gonna do my uploads to Blaze Johnson probably the day of tomorrow. Hayes of Our Lives. That's coming from Hayes of Our Lives. I'm going to do that. Probably, if not tonight, definitely tomorrow. Because they've been having some download things with it. So I was like, you know, there are little issues that they have sometimes. Technical difficulties, I want to call it. I'm saying nothing fucked up about it. It's technical difficulties. It's what it is. It's a technical world. But I'm going to be dropping that shit, putting that on, and, you know. That's what it is, man. It's good now, though. You want to say it's good now, though? Okay, good. That's word. Thank you. Hayes of Our Life. Thank you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Y'all have a good Saturday. Whatever the fuck y'all finna do, man. Don't do nothing fucked up. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Get a job.